Today is one of those days where it's just you look forward to it all year and it's finally here. And today is KOM day on Strava. And because I'm not a 155-pound, 6-foot tall climber with 400, watts for an hour like Phil Guyman, I wait for the windy, flat days, or flat segments at least. So today's that day. Today is, we're in March, and there is some giant wind. So we're going to walk through how you actually acquire a very sought after KOM. So here is the wind map for Chicago. And you can see, we're not in the jet stream over here, but we're in Chicago right here. Here's Lake Michigan. And you can see we're looking at this green is 26 miles an hour sustained. Closer to the lake, we go up to the 30s, 40s, 45s. So I live in Westtown, but the KOMs we're going for today are in Logan Square. So how do you go for a KOM? Well, you need to go on Strava, and you need to figure out what segments you like. So this is the map of segments here in Chicago. When looking for them, you should look for a ride you've already done and see, how well you did. So on another windy day, about 10 miles an hour less, I had the top 3 here, a 9, a 5, a 9, and all these are all top 15. And so I'm looking at the time it took. So this was a 5.5 minute effort. The speed average, 26.2. The intensity, so 302 watts, that's nothing for 5 minutes. In fact, I did a 10-minute threshold yesterday for 300 watts pretty easily, and everything else. So once you find the segments you're going for, and you figure out that it's a good wind day, so here is also some Google AI, slop, but sustained 25 to 35 with gusts up to 60. That's going to be freaking wild, and the weather's not too bad. It's going to be 44 degrees, so perfect weather to set a KOM. Here's the ride I did that day. Here's the segments. And so we are going to start somewhere in here. We're going to wind up, make sure to get this segment, and then blast along the 606 from the Pulaski all the way to the end here at the park. And we're going to make sure to finish it all the way out. And I got to remember to do that little loop. So what bike are we going to use today? Well, as much as I love the Madone and how fast it is, I don't want to risk that biscuit. So we're going to run the Crit Banger, the Specialized Tarmac. And we're going to go full TT mode. We're going to practice for the race that's upcoming. And we're going to run the Insta360 for this and see how we do. So I've been running this old Bontrager Aeolus Pro 5 wheel set. This was on my original Madone in 2019. I have these Challenge Strata tires in 30 mil. They measure about 29.8. Been running these just as training. And today we, for the first time this year, put on the race rubber. This is my Roval CL2 wheel set. The front wheel weighs a lot less than those Aeolus, but funny enough, the rear end of the Roval and the Aeolus are similar. They're within like 30 grams or 40 grams, but this has much thicker rubber. This is 32 mil Pirelli RS rubber. This is way faster than the Challenge, or at least it should be. Aero chainring, we're not running any bag, so we have a single dyno plug on this side. So if I get a flat, I can just do that real quick, but I'm not going to be that far from home. We have our full, we got a heart rate monitor, we got my Avis helmet. We're going to be running my Oakley Sutro, what are these? Glasses, whatever they're called. I have my newest Lakes. These are by far the stiffest. They're kangaroo leather. We'll have these cinched down nice and tight. And then, of course, my favorite piece of kit I own, it's my speed suit. It's got the kind of raised pogie sleeves, aero material on the body, and it just is super tight, super fast. We will be running an out front light, just probably flashing. Maybe I might take it off. If we're going to run the camera, I might not do that. Got my Rotero light, and of course we got our Wahoo. So this is the setup. This is, you want to make sure you have everything ready. The bottle is half full with a little bit of sugar, a little bit of electrolyte powder. Just as I warm up and ride over, give my body some sugar to know that, it has the fuel and kind of signal my body that it's ready to go. So we're going to jump to the trail. and I think I've walked through how I prepped for a crazy windy day KOM. Also check your tire pressures.
Single trail, crossing Milwaukee. One thing that's important to do before every KOM is to probably review what you're going to be riding. I mean, I ride this trail on a regular basis and know it very well. I want to make sure there's not too many people, there's no hazards. Obviously, there's a ton of wind. Alright, we have found a safe space to turn around. I've got my phone and keys inside of here, but this speed skin from Vi does not have any pockets. It's very fast, but so we are putting the phone and keys in the hump area. Hopefully aerodynamic. Definitely worthwhile. Freezing cold. Get ready. And here we go. This wind is crazy. Getting a bit of a wind up. The path was pretty clear. Only saw about 30 people over a few miles, so effort. That hurt. Did a hard ride in gym session yesterday. Filled in the legs. And yes, that was a woman walking her cat in the end. It's Chicago. Kind of is what it is. Hopefully next time I see you, we're in front of the computer doing a recap. Thanks.
Sometimes things just go according to plan. This was an incredibly successful KOM hunt. In fact, we called the ride KOM times 8 because I got 8 KOMs. The main KOMs I was most interested in getting were the longer duration ones. The entirety of the 606 is here, and that's like this trail that used to be, it's like a rail to trail. It goes from here to like there, right? It's a few miles long, and I absolutely nailed it. The top results I wanted from today are, let's see, 606 west to east, love you. We averaged 30.9, and we did 359 watts, so 96%. Heart rate was 180 average. 447 is my time. We knocked off 14 seconds. That's crazy. My previous time for this segment was, I think it was like it was like in the 520s. Huge upgrade. We got a second here, a shorter segment. We got a fourth here, again, can't even see where I'm pointing. These two, I got a second and fourth, shorter segments. Those weren't my goals. My goals were the longer ones, at least a mile long. Humboldt to the end of 606, that's towards the end. We did 328 watts, so I was getting a little bit tired, but still maintained good speed, good aerodynamics. The shorter one, second place, 56 seconds. Let's see how close I was to that. I think I'm like 4 seconds off. Yeah, Jack Riley. Nice work, Jack. 33.7 is fast. That I'd have to go out and try specifically for that. 606 nighttime super disco hyperspeed mega sprint. Well, that's pretty crazy. 340 watts. It's towards the middle of the actual the trail, and I did 4 seconds faster at 231. Not bad. This one, this is like a 0.79 mile sprint. I'm 7 seconds off, not too bad. It's towards the end, so I'd have to kind of go out there and try it. And then we had a few hidden segments. 606 Ridgeway to Milwaukee. This is a nice big one. It is towards the beginning half of the trail. Did good watts, what does it say? 375, 274, not bad. 606, the entirety west to east. This is probably the one I was most interested in getting. It's the entirety of the trail, basically once you're on it, just to the end before you start your curve. We averaged 31.3, and I now own the record by 14, 15, 16 seconds. That is ginormous. My previous time had me, I think, in like the 6-minute range or maybe high 50s. I don't know. I don't remember if I was top 10 or not, but really happy with this one. That's insane. So if we go through and count, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 KOMs. Solid effort. We have a top 2, short. We have a top 4, another half mile. Another half mile here, second for 0.75. Another half mile for 5th place. So pretty happy, really solid effort. Going to intervals ICU. Everyone should be using this. This is great. I actually raised my FTP by 18 watts according to this ride, which is really good to see. So it's at 306 from 5 minutes and 30 seconds at 371 watts. And then when we come over to Trainer Road, sorry, I was trying to get some for the video. Yeah, 319 watts. That's actually what I am, and that's what I train off of. Here's my workout later today, or probably tomorrow morning, actually. That's gonna be fun. Anyways, thanks for watching, and that's how you get a KOM. Please like and subscribe, and we'll have some races coming in soon. Thanks.